Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where today we will be taking a look at the Era 2 Premium Medium, the Sentinelle. Now I've expressed this sentiment before, but I will quickly do it again. The Sentinelle is the 26th Premium Medium in Era 2. There are 23 Tech Tree Mediums in Era 2. So, Wargaming, the game does not need any more of your Premium Mediums in Era 2. Right, with that out of the way, the Sentinelle. Is it a good tank? Yes and no. First off, it's a crew trainer, so that's a unique thing about it. And the gun is superbly accurate, and in a very unique way, it's a two-shot autoloader. If we disregard the Ignis as an autoloader, which it kind of is and isn't at the same time, and correct me if I'm wrong by saying this, but I believe the Sentinelle is the only autoloading premium medium in Era 2. I could be wrong, but from my little bit of the research that I've done, I couldn't see any other premium mediums that were autoloaders in Era 2. So this is the first of its kind, which makes it unique. So it's a crew trainer, and it's got a unique it's got the unique auto loading system, first of its kind. So if you want a reason or an excuse to buy one, I suppose you could use that. The downside of the Sentinelle though is its size. It's a big boy, and based on my experience, it gets ammo racked, and it gets set on fire quite easily as well. So this is a tank for a skilled player, and if you're new to the game, I personally don't think this tank is for you. But if you're a veteran and you know what you're doing with autoloaders, especially two-shot autoloaders, because they're a lot harder to use, you don't have the forgiveness of 3 or 4 rounds in the clip, you've only got 2, then I think you do quite well in this one. If you know what you're doing, this is a tank that you'll do well in. Alright, let's take a look at the Sentinelle in a little bit more detail and compare it to a medium that gave a premium medium that gave me similar vibes, and that is the Leopard 1A1. So, the Sentinelle has 389mm of pen on standard rounds, 482mm on gold, and 125mm on secondary. The Leo has 449mm of pen on standard rounds, 505 on gold, and 250 on secondary. Both tanks have the same alpha per shot. Primary and gold will do an average of 460, or secondary will do an average of 570. Now, this is what I'll say here. The standard pen on the Sentinelle is not very good. I shot the side of a T-72 AV, and I bounced. And immediately, at that point, I was firing standard ammo, and as soon as that happened, I thought, right, I have got to fire gold from now on. It can't be any other way. I have got to fire gold out of this thing, because standard is just not good enough. The Sentinelle has 2,800 hit points. The Leo has 2,500. Both the Sentinelle and the Leo, unboosted, will max out at 65 kilometers an hour. The view range of the Sentinelle comes in at 520 meters, while the Leo comes in at 515 meters. The Sentinelle has 388 meters of moving concealment and 351 meters of still concealment, while the Leo has 405 and 374 meters respectively. So, at a very high level, there's not much separating these two tanks. Both are mobile, both have good guns, but they lack somewhat in the armor department, and that's okay, because a setup like that makes for a balanced tank. And if anything, I would say the Sentinelle could use a slight buff to its penetration values, because that standard pen, it's not very good. If we're being honest, that's not very good, and it could use some love in that area. But the question is, though, is the Sentinelle worth getting? And in my opinion, I don't think anything in this game is worth your hard-earned money. But if you do think that this tank is worth your money, then you're not getting a bad one. The Sentinelle, it needs to be played smart. Each shot needs to count, because you've only got 2 rounds in the clip. And with my crew and equipment setup, the reload for the clip is 12.2 seconds. So that's not fast. If you don't pen both shots, 12.2 seconds is the sort of average reload for a tier 8 World War II heavy. So if you're from World War II playing tier 8, 12.2 seconds is going to feel fairly normal to you. But In Cold War, that's quite a long time not being able to put damage down range. So you really do need to play this thing smart. You've got to know what you're doing. You've got to know when you can engage. You've got to know when you can't engage, when you should fall back, when you can be aggressive, when you should be a bit more passive. You need to really be on top of your game when playing this thing, because 2 rounds in the clip, it's not forgiving. Those 2 shots need to count. And again, like I mentioned earlier, the Sentinelle, it's a big boy. It's not easy to hide. It's quite long in length. It's quite a long tank, and that I believe in one of my games. Well, I think I've already showed the clip where I get ammo wrecked, but I believe in that moment there, I thought, man, I thought I was hiding behind the rock, but clearly I wasn't, and I was visible, and bang, the shot got me. But that's where it clicked in my head, like, oh, this thing feels bigger than I was expecting. So my recommendation for playing this thing is to play it like a sniper and use the 0.28 accuracy to your advantage. Now, the 0.28 accuracy is the stock accuracy. That will obviously drop with crew and equipment, but that on its own is pretty darn good. It's not as good as the Term 3 has better accuracy than this, but still, as you can see from the gameplay, this accuracy is not bad at all. So do not play the Sentinelle up close and personal. Oh, you can, but only play it up close and personal when you know both shots are going to pen and you can kill the target with 2 shots. Otherwise, this thing needs to be played at range. You need to take advantage of the accuracy, take advantage of the 2 shots in the clip, and just snipe people from range. That, in my opinion, is the best way to play this thing. Okay, let's take a look at the economy stats of the Sentinelle. It has got a 50% silver boost, 10% tank XP boost, 5% free XP boost, and a 25% crew XP boost. The 50% silver boost is always nice, always good to get an extra 50% silver per game, but the real highlight here is that the Sentinelle is a crew trainer. That 25% boost is very nice, but I must stress again, this is a tank where you've got to know what you're doing. Don't be swayed into thinking, oh, I'm getting a crew trainer, I'll just play it to train my crews. You'll get punished in the Sentinelle if you don't know what you're doing, and if you're not playing well, you're not going to get much. If you're not playing well, you won't get the XP, and if you don't get the XP, then your crew boost means absolutely nothing. So if you're a veteran, this tank will be suited to you. If you're new to the game, I would strongly recommend staying away from this one. Okay, folks, that's all I've got for this one. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave it a like, if not a dislike. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next one.